You know, like with .com, when at first I said like 2001, 2, whatever. Was it you writing the workouts and notes and all that stuff? And
Everything.
at what point did you stop? Or can you remember why you stopped? Was it just like a delegation thing?
No, I stopped 2 times. I stopped once, probably 10 years in, because I had people like Leif Edmondson that did great work and caught on. And again, the first 6 months of 2019, I did all the WODs, and I still think those were great. And then I turned it over to Leif again. But and Leif's very, very talented.
Why did you take it back in 2019? Just did you miss it, or do you think there was something wrong?
Yeah, I sensed a drift, and I wanted workouts that everyone could do, or a larger percentage of people could do, and yet the very best would distinguish themselves. In other words, I don't need to do a Fran at 185 pounds, because if you can do Fran at 185 pounds, 95 pounds, you'll do it in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can show it that way with reduced time. And I wanted also to the scales, holds, that the slips, I think we were calling it, L-sits, stretching, what was it, inverted, I can't remember the thing, but I had an acronym for it. But I think that was some of our very best work. It was January in 2019 onward.
So you did it, delegated it, sensed the drift, took it back, sort of steadied the ship, and then gave it again.
Yep.
And was there any point after that where you were like, oh?
I moved all of the game stuff off of the front end, and I said that we're going to run this like a daily paper. You know, you might have, if the Dodgers win the World Series, it'll be on the front page of the LA Times, but that might be the only story that makes the front page from the sports world the whole year.
Yeah.
Right? And I go, so I've got that kind of tolerance. But and Cal will appreciate this too. Nobody liked me putting fat people on the front end of the website. Nobody liked that. My staff didn't like it. Jeff Kane didn't like it. Dave Castro didn't like it. And I was committed to it.
So is that like were you trying to show who it could be for, whereas they were trying to show where people could get to? Is that like the...
Fair enough. And you're not getting excited advertising executive about a gym advertisement that features a 400-pound woman with a walker coming through the door. No, and I understand the why of that. If you don't know what you could do for her, why would you advertise for that? And I think most people would have refused or not been willing to work with some of the people we worked with.
What about, like, so say if you go to a CrossFit gym, if you look in an average class, say 15 people, there might be maybe 1, maybe 2 people that fit that description that you're talking about.
Yes.
Whereas everybody else is either, fairly physically capable or has their motivation set, they're, on their way, or they want to improve or whatever. Like, if you went back now, do you think, would you do the same thing? Do you still think that's the core market, or that's the person that you can help the most? Or do you think that maybe that demographic that's in an affiliate speaks more about the people doing it?
No, it wasn't a marketing effort in any traditional sense of I thought this would drive revenue. It was me wanting the affiliates to know that we sat in unique possession of an elegant solution to the world's greatest problem, of vexing problem, chronic disease. And I committed to demonstrating that very publicly. And I had told our staff that we've got 15,000 world-class diabetes reversal centers. The problem is that not everyone running these centers knows it.
Yeah.
And as I said, and the problem starts with us here in our own building. We don't know. And so I told the crew that let's make use of our Facebook account. And what I want to do is I want to get elderly people and overweight people. At the time, the language was old farts and fat fucks amongst us privately. And I said, but we can't say we want old farts and fat fucks, but let's try this. And what we did is we put out that if you consider yourself the least likely person to do CrossFit, we want to talk to you. And we had about 20 good responses, out of which 12 were clearly morbidly obese or elderly. And we started with those 12, and in 18 months, that turned into 150 people. And the stories that came out of that, I mean, if you got a heart and you're a thinking, caring, feeling person, that was one of the most extraordinary things that I think the people ever saw. I know Michelle Moots came down to run the program for us, to lead that. And we brought some of our very best trainers, Chuck Carswell, we had some of our best come through and work with these people, but that 12 turned into 150. And the stories out of that were, it's just, I mean, that's what you open your gym for, is those kinds of things, you know.
How did you manage when you were doing it to ignore, say, the loudest voices, like the critical ones are usually the loudest? I don't mean external, I mean like within CrossFit. There's a lot of naysayers outside, but as in affiliate owners or people in the sport, or, you know, who are trying to talk about the tip of the spear, whereas you're at the base of the shaft, basically trying to work from there. How do you just block that out and be like, no, it's my thing and this is what we need?
I was pretty good at it. I mean, Tony Budding left, and Savon stayed mad at me, and Dave kind of did his own thing, you know. But I'm still there. I'm still in that space. I have a friend in Scottsdale whose stepdad is a orthopedic surgeon at Ohio State, and his dad rides his bike to work every day and plays squash 3 times a week and eats a carnivore diet. And he's asked me, what else would you suggest I do for my health? And I go, I don't think you need to do anything else for your health. And Elliot asked, not even CrossFit? I don't think that's going to provide more health than eating right and exercising the way he is. But what I would be interested in is if I could talk him into improving his squash game or being better on his bike, we would use CrossFit to do that. And I would be making the claim that there's a health side to that.
Yeah.